And you gonna murder this one and murder that one. Talking all that bullshit. I'm gonna put it to you like this, yo.
This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me, I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
What is poppin', everybody? And welcome back to another special episode of the Only Friends podcast. Well, you know, it's me and my only friends, which includes, but it's not limited to, El Tortuga.
We are.
What's poppin'?
Penn State.
Let's go.
Okay.
Nobody says
You
that
know, the
anymore.
McAfee show is currently on air, just absolutely destroying Penn State.
Really?
I thought you were going to say they're destroying our numbers.
They're in Morgantown.
Okay.
He went to WVU.
Oh, McAfee went to WVU?
Yeah,
So
so
then
it's
he
like-
hates, well, he doesn't hate Penn State. He hates Pitt for sure.
Yeah, well,
He has to hate Pitt.
you know, it's weird. His entire staff is
He has
Yinzers.
to.
No, it's a prerequisite to go to WVU.
It's true. He's a Yin. Like, what is it about the area we grew up in that like you can like anybody but Pitt? Like, it's so anti-Pittsburgh.
That's not true.
I mean,
I just think it's divided.
heavily.
Especially once you get closer to the city, you're going to get a lot
sure,
more,
but I'm saying
obviously.
like he's from Plum, we're from Leechburg, we're both about 20 miles from the city type of thing.
Yeah, I think once you get outside of like Allegheny County or even outside the city limits, then it's a free for all. Penn State or Pitt, and like back in the day, Pitt was like really good, and the Marino years and right, but like as of late, like even the last like 20 years.
What do you
Pitt
mean?
has
They
been
had
pretty
Kenny
terrible.
Pickett.
They did.
They've had a lot of good pros come out of there. A lot of really good pros. come out
Yeah,
of there.
they definitely had some good pros.
Didn't
for
Aaron
sure.
Donald
Yeah, good
come
running
there?
Aaron
backs.
Donald went
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
LaShawn McCoy. Fitzgerald went
Yeah.
there. They've had a lot of talent come
For
out
sure.
of Pitt.
Yeah, but I mean, so did Penn State, for sure. But like Penn State has been like a lot better. They've been ranked higher. They've been in these big bowl games. They play in the Big Ten with all these huge teams where
The Big
Pitt
20.
is like playing like the Big East got dismantled and now they're like in the ACC and
The Big East getting
okay,
dismantled was a real pity.
Yeah.
I think mainly for basketball, less so for football. Big East football
Mm-hmm.
was never really serious,
Yeah.
but basketball wise, I think it was a shame to kind of see them fall under. And ironically, outside of UConn, most of those teams haven't gone on to compete well elsewhere. Like, when was the last time Georgetown was good?
In basketball?
Iverson, right? But Georgetown was a powerhouse.
Right.
In the 80s and early 90s, mid 90s even.
Yeah.
Like through our high school years, early 2000s. They were a powerhouse.
Always in there. Powerhouse.
Pitt was
Yeah.
a powerhouse. Early 2000s with
Right.
the Jamie Dixon years.
Yep.
Who else was in the Big East at that time?
St. John's.
St. John's. Syracuse. Yeah. Syracuse was monsters for a while. I think they've been good more recent than the Carmelo Anthony years, but
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had chances.
not. It's not like it used to be. It used to be big. It used to be the Big East and the ACC, where the two ACC's Duke, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting that right. Yeah, yeah. It was Big East and ACC was like the two powerhouse conferences
Yeah.
in NCAA, and it's just kind of not the case anymore. It's more widespread, I guess.
They got Florida State.
He's a 10. Who's a 10? I'm a 10. I'm a
Damn.
Pittsburgh
Are
10,
you-
maybe.
What is this? What are we watching here?
What are we watching?
I don't
You
know.
guys are talking about ACC and SEC and all this.
Oh, yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
He's a degenerate sports bettor that sits on the couch every Saturday for 12 hours. He doesn't even get up to go take a piss.
I mean, it depends on what he's watching. If it's SEC, he's an 8. If it's ACC, he's a 3.
I love you.
I love you so.
Everybody's trying to have their Hawk Tua moment.
I was just about to say she's
Yeah.
in town.
Yes.
She's playing Poker Go tomorrow.
No.
Yeah.
Is she really?
I might have to get on a meter.
Yeah. You probably
I said in rank
chill, Grandpa.
in rank order of celebrity crushes that I currently have due to the internet. it goes
Bro, if you get a date with Hawk to a girl, that's gonna be so amazing.
That would be amazing.
in order. It goes the noodle girl from Alabama, the one that noodles catfishes.
Yeah.
She's a fucking 10.
Yes.
She's a fucking 10. Everything about her. I'm not even talking looks. I'm talking like everything about her.
Wait,
She's a
who is
goddamn
this?
10.
Who is this?
I can't
It's
remember.
an
her name.
Instagram account, but like she'll like catch like a catfish with her hands.
Oh,
Everybody,
yeah.
Hey, Landon,
Yeah.
Landon, everybody catfishes with their hands.
What does that mean?
It's noodling.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's noodling. Get it right.
I don't
Get it
know what
right
that
or pay the price. I'll find her name because I sent this to. There we go. Here we go. Here's a.
She's got her queued right up.
I got a link for you.
This was
There
not
you go.
planned
There you go.
pre-show,
That's a
by
link.
the way.
This was not planned pre-show. But anyway, in order,
There was no plan for you.
it is. I believe her name's Haley.
Hannah.
Hannah. Sorry, Hannah. Hannah is my number one.
Haley is Hawk Tua girl.
Haley is Hawk Tua girl. She's my number 2. And not
She's your number
Things
2.
that start with the letter H.
not even because
People
of the
love
Hawk
things.
Tua. Like that's all lore. You know, she just seems so sweet. She's so southern. Big fan. So Hannah, Haley, Catfish Noodle Girl, Hawk Tua girl number 2, and number 3 Jeff Platt's sister.
Oh, Melissa, I believe her name is. Is it Melissa?
Who cares?
What a list.
What the hell is
You're not doing
wrong
yourself
with
any
you?
favors.
She's number 3.
You're not doing yourself any favors.
She's number 3, and Hawk Tua girl's in town.
What's the chances we can get her on the podcast?
I don't know. Probably pretty low.
It probably pretty low. And
I imagine
it would cost a pretty penny.
Yeah, I
at this
imagine
point.
at
And
this
she's not
point-
doing these things for
No,
free.
she's definitely not doing it for free. She's milking this 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, she should. She should. Listen, you get that money and you save that money.
That's right.
Because in a year from now, nobody's going to know who you are.
Exactly.
Get that money.
Get that money.
I don't know,
maybe,
man.
Maybe throw a little bit into
How are we still not on the
investments.
Hannah graphic?
Oh, sorry. You guys moved on.
I sent you a link.
Berkey has never moved on. And
Yeah,
he never
I'll
will.
move on. I'm here. I want fried catfish.
What about Glazer?
I'm over her. She's
H4L, Hannah for life.
yeah.
Wait a minute.
This girl's fantastic.
What is this?
There's like other videos of her just like fucking building shit at her house, like putting up drywall.
Wait a minute. Why is this in like? No, they're at like a lake, right?
This looks like a dam, but yeah.
It's not like an already catfish
That looked like a catfish.
wielding like
No,
location. Like
no,
you
they're
go
not
into
like
the
a-
wild for
yeah,
this.
yeah. You stick your hand in holes.
Do you like have like a piece of like bait in your hand?
No.
And they come up and you just.
No,
How do
I
you
just
work?
You just got to raw dog it. You
Does
just
it
go in
look
there
like
with-
she had her hand down the catfish's mouth?
Oh, that's what you do. You stick your hand in the hole. So
Go on.
her dad will love me.
Oh, it's Friday.
Her dad's gonna love me. You stick your hand in like a mud hole,
Okay.
which is like their nest.
Yeah.
and they see your little tingers wiggling, and they come out and they.
So these catfish just chill in mud more than like an actual water.
yeah. Well, they're in water.
Yeah, but it's muddy water.
Catfish are known bottom feeders. Yeah.
So they live there, and then you infiltrate their nest. And they
Correct.
bite you, and then you grab it. And then
Exactly.
Burke, when you going to Lay Lake?
you pull. Tomorrow.
Yeah. I'll spend a weekend.
Actually, no,
or
you
two
can't
there.
go tomorrow because Haley's in town for
That's right.
CPT.
That's right.
For the poker go. Tomorrow. That's tomorrow.
I'm not going to give up on number 2.
So you gonna watch that Penn State game?
Hold
Or?
on a second. What's the opening line if you meet Hawk to a girl?
Spit on that thing? I don't know.
No, come on, everybody's done that.
Are
Like,
you
okay.
kidding me? That's an ejection.
Brian's out. You
That's an immediate get out of here, you creep.
Hello, nice to meet you.
That would be much better.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Get out of here, creep. Yeah, pretend Brian's Hawk to a girl.
Show up with a couple of South Point glizzies.
Yeah.
May I interest you in a dog?
That
Did you see
dog.
that
You're a dog.
when she was on Bill Maher and they asked her?
She was on Bill Maher. How fucking
yeah.
No,
ridiculous.
she wasn't on Bill Maher. She was on his podcast.
Okay.
And he's a creep in himself, like having her on. He's a 68-year-old man. Like, what are you doing, man?
I don't know how he's still on air.
Yeah.
Actually, I do know how he's still on air. The same way that all the other 68-year-old creeps are still
Yeah.
on air. Like
Yeah.
fucking.
It's the same way that we're on air. We just don't stop being off air.
But
Nah.
he's
He makes
asking her
millions of
he's asking her
dollars.
about like rap songs and she's like do you like old school rap, and she's like, well, what's old school rap? He's like, like he said like Jay-Z and somebody else, and she's like, yeah, she's like, do you know who they are? And he's like, yeah. She's like, The only Jay-Z song I like is that one with Alicia Keys, and she's like, it's like concrete jungle, wet dream tomato. And now when you hear it, you can't unhear it. You cannot unhear it.
Did you just say wet dream tomato?
That's what she said, and I was like, oh, okay. And then they played the song, and that's all you can really hear. Now I'll never unhear it. It's ruined that song.
That's incredible.
I can't believe that's not a meme in itself.
That is an incredible interpretation of that song. Wow. Yeah, we just
It's
really
a wet
came full
dream
circle.
tomato.
Poor Alicia Keys. She's never gonna live this one down.
Oh man.
So as you guys can tell, we have a jam-packed show.
Oh
today.
yeah, you know.
Jam-packed.
Lot to get to.
This is what the people are here for.
That's a Friday
It
show.
really is. It is.
The Friday
it's
show.
a Monday through Friday show.
That's true. Honestly, like these shows are what I wish every day was like.
Yeah.
But I'm confident we would lose our entire
I don't
audience.
think so, man. I think the people are here for it.
We're here for it.
Well, a lot of our
We'll get to poker eventually.
a lot of our shallow banter tends to be what sports and what girls were most interested in.
Mm-hmm.
That's both of those things heavily divide the audience.
Yeah.
Throw in a little politics on top of that, and I think we're left with like Efro.
Did you watch the?
No,
Did you watch the Kamala Harris Tim Walz interview last night?
No.
Eric Comp is never leaving us. Don't worry.
All right, shout out to Eric Comp. Appreciate you. No, I mean, I did see Bonomo today said that enough's enough, and he's made his mind up.
He's
There's
above
no
Jill
way.
Stein?
Probably.
Yeah.
He said there's no way he can support Kamala.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say he's a one-issue voter, but he's pretty close to that.
Pretty close,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure he has other concerns of other things, but he's literally voting on the Israeli Gaza Palestine issue, and she seems like she's I mean, it's basically she's like, we're going to support Israel to defend themselves, and then he's like, okay, well then I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, given his stance, it's probably pretty fair.
Right.
I've enjoyed the back and forth between some sharp people in the space about the unrealized capital gains tax. Like, if nothing else, everybody should be able to walk away from this conversation and say, well, the messaging was pretty poor.
Mm-hmm.
Like whether or not this is a good idea, I'm not sharp enough to know these types of things. My instincts are that the way it's being proposed, it probably is a non-factor for 99.9% of people.
It is in a certain way, because you said like that you have to have $300 million, $100 million in assets. But the problem is that these people, these whales, if you will, that have $100 million in assets
Probably employ a lot of people.
Well, they employ a lot of people, but the main thing is that they can't, like, if they're going to have to pay capital gains, unrealized capital gains tax, and they're going to sell. Like,
yes and no.
It incentivizes them to sell.
You're only thinking about one avenue of it. You're thinking of liquid capital gains that are easily sellable, but you're forgetting about all the old money that owns, infinite property that they're renting out to supermarkets and to big businesses that are totally immobile.
Right.
They can't sell those.
Yeah. So I don't know how.
And I'm not even saying that that's good or bad.
Right.
I mean, clearly, like both of these things. Like
I was thinking more in terms of someone who owns a lot of certain stocks or crypto or something like that. Like, and it's like you don't want to incentivize people to sell. You want people to hold those assets and have them appreciate. So like, yeah, I just don't think it'll ever be an issue, because I don't think it'll ever get passed. But
yeah, I mean, it cuts both ways. My understanding, again, like I'm not an economist. I don't know nearly enough about it. When I see guys like Barbara, who I consider to be pretty sharp, not taking a hard stance on an issue like this, I think it's probably a lot more benign than the messaging would imply.
Right.
Ike retweeted a nice thread that I haven't fully got through, but it's from this guy Dylan Matthews, who writes for Vox. And it's a long thread on like what's misunderstood about the unrealized capital gain tax. I haven't come through the whole thing. I don't really have an opinion to form on it. Point is that this might be, from my point of view, the messaging that misses the mark the most, as far as like if you're campaigning. Like weird thing to campaign on.
Yeah.
When you're trying to gain votes.
I mean,
and maybe it's like meant, well, I was just about to say, maybe it's meant to create that divide where it's like, well, if you are already leaning right, because you're fiscally conservative, you're not going to come my way anyway. I've already lost your vote. So I'm going to lean a lot harder to the people that are more about creating social programs and dispersing wealth, and the notion of repackaging this I guess bill or whatever as being a way of redistributing wealth.
Right.
It's just like
is a way to capture like the
you
more
see that
poor
like as,
vote.
exactly. This is how we're going to make the rich pay their fair share. That's the message.
what you said before, they really did miss the marketing, because they could have just like taxed the rich. Like what 3 words and just like run a campaign off of that.
Well, I think anybody who's in the space never wants to be so overt about like I don't think you ever want to target a certain subsection and literally just like disqualify them. But in essence, Conrad's not wrong. Like this all but does that.
He's not. But if you're in any kind of interview or debate, the follow-up question is, well, how are you going to do that?
Right, and then you give the actual details of this.
Right.
But leading with just the proposal.
Yeah. Well, she's you
got to spell it out for some.
They were coming down on her pretty hard on like, hey, we don't know what your policies are, so we need to hear some more policy details and stuff like that. So that's probably they're starting to come out with more stuff.
Yeah,
that has not been received well from a certain group of people.
They could have literally just had a picture of Kamala and Tim Walz, and then just have a drop down, tax the rich, and then just put like Google CEO, and then like Amazon, Jeff Bezos, and just like ran a full campaign off this.
Honestly,
listen, I'm here for you, Kamala. Hit me up.
I think you should hire
campaign.
Conrad as a campaign.
I'll run anybody's campaign. Just let me know.
Honestly, I don't recall in my lifetime 2 more easily detestable candidates.
Don't we say this every time?
No. I mean, like Biden, Trump. Trump was detestable, and Biden was like the vote against Trump.
Like Orange Man versus Sleepy Man.
He was just neutral. And like, as the 4 years kind of wound out, it's like, well, he's really fucking old. It's like, it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Whether he's doing a good job or not, it doesn't matter. Optically, it like
surprisingly, Kamala's approval rating is it was not good when she was like at like just the active vice president, but once she became like the actual nominee, it's gone up a lot to where she's like, I think she might be above water, like which is like in this day and age, that's good, right? It's just like if there's more people that find you favorable than find you unfavorable, it's huge. Same with Tim Walz, right? He's like people like him, obviously say his I think he's like 10 points above water, which is really good.
I find Tim Walz
on the
to
other
be
hand,
very compelling.
Yeah, of course.
I find him to be like a real.
He's down to earth, like dad, right? He's like your cool uncle, or your cool your friend's cool dad.
Well, I think
he's
he's real base on Twitter. That's all I know.
Yeah, I think he also. I think the way you described
Russ
him,
Vieto.
Right. I think the way you described him is very, very correct. It's like somebody who has stayed enough in touch with the times that he's remained somewhat socially progressive.
Right.
But he's pretty principled in his policy, at least from the surface. I don't know shit about what he actually stands on.
Yeah.
And largely same for Kamala. I think that like maybe Hillary and Trump were. They were both pretty detestable.
Right. Both their approval ratings were just like like everyone.
Like we have to vote for someone.
Right.
I wonder. Bernie tried to be third party that year, yeah? Or did he try to get the Dem nom?
No, he tried to get the Dem nom, and he lost. And
he didn't want to.
Some nefarious things were going on.
He still had to stop talking about that.
And then he ran again in 2020. Got off to a huge start, and then all the establishment Democrats were like, "Oh my God, Bernie's gonna win. We need to do something." And they all like kind of colluded around Biden to get all the other people that were like Biden to drop out and endorse Biden, and then Biden ended up winning the nomination.
It feels so fruitless to talk about. Like as somebody who's not entrenched in politics and doesn't honestly like the age that I'm at now and the amount that it impacts the world around me, I probably should like the day that I stop doing the podcast and running the training company and all these other things, I feel like will be the time where I start to educate myself a lot more on American politics. But I fear that I'm going down a rabbit hole that just meets a dead end Because like as somebody who doesn't know very much in that realm, it all feels so fruitless. It feels so conspired against.
It's very easy to go down and fall into like an echo chamber too. You can just like, if you go down one path, you watch a certain few videos, you're like, yeah, that all makes sense, and I'm on this side. And then if you go the other way, you're like, yeah, that all makes sense, I'm on this side. So like, it's hard to like stay open-minded and try to absorb as much information you can about what's actually really going on, what these candidates stand for, and how it's going to affect you in your real life. A lot of times, it doesn't matter who wins. Nothing's really going to change for you.
Right.
Is the truth. But there are certain things that, like, if you have certain issues, that are, that it will affect you.
You know what aspect I do like of it? The betting market. It's kind of interesting at just watching how when things happen, like who cares who you're like, whatever, who you want to win. It's just like watching how like something happens and how the betting market just moves.
I think that's a reason to get sharp.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. There's a lot of money to be made.
Yeah,
for sure.
The
especially now with Polymarket.
The like Trump Biden election was one of the biggest opportunities to make a fuck ton of money if you were sharp, and I wasn't sharp. Like I made a very small amount. And I was just betting with my heart.
Right.
Like, it was just like...
Venom was very all in on the Red Mirage.
Really?
Venom was all in on Biden.
He got fucked. Oh.
But he won.
Why'd you say red?
Because it was all red at once, but then it all switched over. It was Mirage. It was fake.
Called the Red Mirage.
He was like,
right.
it was like Biden plus whatever. He's like, it's a lock.
People were talking about this Red Mirage for the longest time.
He's like, it's the Red Mirage, baby.
To give people context, if they don't know what the Red Mirage is. So like, what happened was all the the votes that are the people like the in-person votes all get counted first, right? And then they count the mail-in ballots, and the mail-in ballots were way heavily favored in the Democratic side because Biden or Trump said don't vote by mail, it's rigged. So like so like he just goes off to this huge lead right on election night because they're counting all the in-person votes first, and it's like, oh my god, he's gonna win. Everyone's like, yes, let's go hard into it. Like, no, that's the Red Mirage. You just bet the other way, and then once they started counting all the mail-in ballots, Biden overtook him.
Yeah, I wish I had been more sharp,
and that's gonna happen again this year.
Probably
not to the extent of last year, but it's still going to happen in a way because
last cycle,
right. So like, you're going to hear Trump again say like, I was off this lead and then they stole it. Like if he doesn't win,
right? Yeah, I wish I were sharper. I like just couldn't turn down the prices. Basically, I recall there was a spot where I think Biden was like 6-1 or 8-1, and only one swing state, I think only Florida, had been declared. And I was just like, man, I mean, sure.
Right.
But 6-1 or whatever the price was, like the price, it was just like, this just seems too good.
Right.
Not to fire, $5,000 at and just see if we can nail one.
Then you could get 10 or 15% on your money after all the votes were counted.
That was like the big miss. That was the real big
miss. That was
miss.
a free 10%.
Barber was like, he backed the truck up. I mean, he was on the show. He talked about this in the past, but like, he literally backed up his net worth.
Yeah.
I would love to hear like...
I backed up the truck.
I would love to hear numbers.
20-1.
Yeah, I would love to hear numbers and like what people cleared on that, taking bets.
I mean, I for sure know people that got like high 6 figures, low 7 figures, and they were laying 10 or 20 to 1.
That's insanity.
Oh,
that's
they're like laying 20 million to win $1 million.
Yeah.
Or laying 10 million to win $1 million.
Maybe not versus like one person, but there were so many people willing to take that Trump was going to be president after the inauguration.
After the inauguration.
That's
wild.
I got a couple $100 from that, actually.
Okay, well, there we go. Good job.
I got some.
Someone collected the free money.
Someone was like, it was like $300. So I was like, I was like, I'll take that.
The asymmetric downside is always so scary to me, but like it's there because these things really are locks.
Lock of the century of the week.
If ever there's an incident that we'll point back to in American history that says like this qualifies how stupid America is. It will have to be the betting market post-election.
It was either that or the people that took McGregor versus Mayweather.
No, because boxing's at least fixed.
He can get knocked out.
Yeah, there's
Something
a million
can
things that could have.
Look, I'm
he
not
could
saying
slip
that-
and knock himself out. Who knows?
There's a difference here.
But like
Huge difference.
this is constitutionally something had to like be corrected.
Like it was just never going to happen.
I mean, it was just like a near impossibility.
Yeah.
20 to 1 had to be stealing. It had to be closer to like
Well, get ready
1,000
because
to
it
1.
could happen again.
Yeah,
It definitely could happen again. I mean, I don't know.
We're clearing up some.
I don't know. I doubt you'll be able to get the amount of money that get the odds that you were getting last time because people wise up. I would think, but I don't know, man.
Hold on.
There might be a way.
I'm looking for odds on another January 6th taking place.
I'd rather not bet on something
I'd rather
like that.
I'd rather not happen, but
Also,
I'll take the odds.
Also, like that happening at all,
and this
in 2020, whatever 2020, I guess 2021,
2021 January.
And him running 4 years later is insanity to me.
Something like that even happening in our country, period, is like madness. It's just like inconceivable in today's day and age.
In like far off countries, third world countries, it doesn't happen to us.
It happening like right off the back end of COVID almost makes it like a distant memory that wasn't real.
Right.
Like I don't think of the insurrection the same way I think of 9/11.
Well,
9/11 is of course
they
like
were,
the death
they
toll.
were much different. Yeah.
Sure, but they're both attacks on our land. Like they're both attacks on the
something
government.
you watched all day long and were like, I can't believe this is happening.
Well, actually, the big difference is one was more like a Civil War type thing.
Kind of, I guess.
I mean, what was the plan there? They just kind of stormed in. It's like, okay, now what?
Right. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, that was effectively. It was like almost a demonstration of like, look what we can do.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I mean,
thing.
it was the pressure, Mike Pence from like, certifying the votes. So,
but like,
there's really nothing that they could have done.
All I know is he's been charged with a lot, and that happened on the back end of. He had something to do with it. Something. I don't know, a little bit, tiny bit, a lot of bit. He had something.
I mean, maybe
how is
directly,
he just able
indirectly,
to run?
who
It's
knows?
just so crazy.
Well, that might be the other thing too. Is like, I mean, is that all settled legally?
No, he just got.
That's what I mean.
He just got indicted this week on another charge.
Like, this is what I mean. Like, there's a chance he gets elected, and then within the first 6 months of being a sitting president, he's in court.
Well, no, because once he's president, he's protected, so he won't be.
This makes a lot of
That's
sense.
That's why he wants to be president so bad, because he'll be protected.
I'd get shot too.
And yeah, and he can and if it's like federal stuff, he can like have his like DOJ just dismiss the charges, or they can have them like he can pardon himself. There's so many things he can do. Once he's president. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. It's like it's kind of like cloudy with the language and the law, but we're pretty sure you could do it. So yeah,
apparently,
we're pretty sure.
Except for state charges, is that true?
Yeah, state charges I think are different.
So he'd still be,
but he'll still be protected. It's not like he's gonna be sitting in jail while he's president.
That'd be quite interesting.
That would be.
Judge's orders into like 6 months or something.
Yeah, and then
then
the Supreme Court just passed they ruled on a ruling that said that if you're president, you can't be held for any crimes.
Well, that was sharp because he elected the Supreme. He filled the seats.
Yeah, he filled in 3 seats.
Yeah,
and now they basically said like he could literally like tell his whoever to like kill somebody while he's president, and they can't do anything about it.
Wow,
pretty sick.
That's kind of dumb.
Yeah, pretty dumb.
In game.
What happened to checks and balances?
What happened?
They're eroding. That is like the only lesson from civics that I remember is the working order of checks and balances, and seeing it all like unfold now as an adult. It's just like, man, at one point in time we had a system.
Did we though? It was just all a lie in front of our eyes.
I mean,
they just told us this.
It's all a giant game of risk at the end of the day, and these world leaders are kind of the players who are moving the pieces on the board, and the best we can hope for is that we have somebody in our corner that, whether they're a good actor or not, they at least have our best interest in mind.
Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Tell them, Amanda. Preach. Is that Teddy Roosevelt?
Probably.
All right, Socrates.
Do we need to read The Man in the Arena? All right, let me apologize to everybody for us talking politics for 20 minutes.
That'd be great if we could do that just turn us into a political.
I mean, I think we can talk about the betting lines.
Well, yeah, of course, to some degree. But again, we're not sharp at all. The only reason this even was like a spurned thought in my mind is because I watched Jon Stewart on Two Bears yesterday. And he's just like such an entertaining individual who's like just sharp enough that it makes me want to learn more. But not to the degree of actually going out and doing the research. You know, it was like for a moment there was curiosity there,
Right.
and then I just remember the state of affairs and just kind of surrender.
Yeah.
It's like, whoever's gonna get elected is gonna get elected.
Yep.
It's unfortunate. But no, yesterday we were off. Kind of surprisingly, it wasn't meant to be an off day. I was fucking in the muck, and. I don't know what the hell is causing it. Losing $250,000 the night before didn't help. I can assure you that.
Right.
That did not help.
Could be monkeypox.
I don't know that my symptoms are equatable to monkeypox necessarily.
You have any bumps and rashes?
No bumps or rashes. And I truly don't even know how to describe these symptoms. I've tried maybe a dozen times. And I think I come up with a different description every single time. But basically, have you ever been like awoken from a deep sleep and, been forced out of bed for whatever reason? Like I equate it to when I have like a 5 a.m. flight and, you've only gotten like 2 hours of sleep and you're just like deep in that REM sleep and your alarm goes off and you just have to jolt up and get out of bed.
And you're like foggy headed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine that feeling for like 5 days straight.
Yeah.
At like varying degrees. So this came on to me on Sunday. Like I felt like I had just gotten off a boat. Like I had this sensation the first time I went on a cruise, and I was like standing like cooking or whatever, and I was like swaying back and forth. Like I just could not get my equilibrium about me. And then the following day it was much better. I lifted. It was doable, but like I still had that like kind of glassed over look to me. I don't know that I was all there. To be quite frank. Tuesday was much better. Wednesday was good for the first half of the day, and I ended up putting in a really long session. We were playing 100, 200, 400. I had the fortunate pleasure of playing with Peter and Brittany, who absolutely wrecked me. I think I was the only loser in the game.
Yeah.
As one would expect when you lose $250,000 in a 2-4 game. No, I did not. I had 4 sets, none of them held. Oh, literally got all in with a set 4 different times. Lost 3 and chopped 1 with 8. I chopped. I got it in on Jack 9-3 for 2x pot. With pocket 3s versus Ace Jack off. Jack 9-3 rainbow. How do we chop this hand? How did they do it to me? I almost got scooped.
How did you?
Oh no, you lost the first one?
No, but I almost did. Turn 9 on the first one, river brick. And then on the second one, turn jack, river ace. Chop. But it was pretty gross. It was pretty gross. That was not fun. So yeah, I was just getting absolutely crushed. Probably made a couple small errors also. Maybe got in the streets a little bit.
Which out of the 4 sets were when you flopped it, you were like, oh, how's this going to go? Were you at that point where you're like, oh God,
I knew I was losing
I made
this.
A set.
I was positive I was losing this one. I called a 4-bet from Schwan with pocket 10s, and it came King Jack 10 all spades, and she just jammed for like pot and a half. And I'm just like, well, I'm calling.
Yes, of course.
And I'm hoping for queens with a spade, I guess, or aces with a spade, or ace. Actually, ace king with a spade is probably what I'm hoping for.
I hope it's
So
not
the flop was
kings.
King Jack 10?
King Jack 10, all spades. Aces, no spade would be it. That would be what I'm really hoping for.
Yeah.
But it ends up being aces with a spade, and I get scooped. And I was pretty sure I was getting scooped on that one.
Spades on both. They find
spade on the first one,
an ace on the other.
Well, brick turn on the first one, which was nice, and then spade turn queen on the second one to just really give me the full pain. So yeah, I was pretty sure I was going to lose that one. I don't even remember the first one. Oh yeah, I do. I'd pocket 9s on Jack 9-3.
Seems like a pretty good hand.
Jack 9-3 2 spades. Yeah. Jack 9-3 2 spades, 3-bet pot. I have pocket 9s, and I lose all in versus 8s.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bane.
Same person who had ace jack also, by the way.
When did the money go in? River?
No. A lot of it got in by the turn. And then he backdoored
Like
flush.
10-7? Oh, backdoor the flush.
Backdoored the flush. Backdoored the 4 flush.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? One of those days. I also got in the streets a little bit. I might have played a 3-bet pot where I raised the flop at ace 5 off. Came jack 3, 2 spades.
You had what?
Ace 5 off. Button versus big blind. This is reasonable, okay?
You had what?
This is not
It was
tortoise
versus,
approved.
It was versus Peter. Button versus big blind. I had ace 5 off, ace of spades. Jack 3, 2 spades. Peter just bets pot. And I was like, well, that's never a fucking hand. So I'm going to raise. So I raise like 3x. He peels. Turn 8 of spades. Feel like I'm going to win this one a lot. He just leads for third pot. It's like, what the fuck is going on here?
He's been doing my thing.
I probably should raise. But I think I'm like way ahead, way behind when he leads the turn. Like I don't expect to see like, 6s with a spade or anything like that. So I peel again, thinking that like, he probably has like king, queen with a spade or something like that. And the river's just like an offsuit 4. And he just jams for like 3x pot. So I fold and he has red ace 8. I'm like, oh man. What the fuck is going on here? That was like a 100K pot.
Sounds like it was a painful day.
It was a painful day. But that aside, when I got home, I felt like I was like the lights were going out on me. Like I was,
this is it.
Legitimately, like I got in the house. By the time I got in the house, and it wasn't that late. It was like midnight. I like walk in the house, and I was like, I feel pretty tired. And as I like started to make my way to my room, I'm like, I think the lights are going out here, boys. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the bed. And I kind of like hit the bed, passed out, woke up the next morning. I slept long. I slept like 8 or 9 hours. Woke up the next morning. I had missed the gym, and I was getting ready to go play at 10. And I was just like not there at all. I was exhausted. I was foggy. I just had this like dampening feeling of like, I guess the only way I can explain it is that like my equilibrium was like just a little bit off, but it's not even that. It's like, man, I don't know how to, it's like, cause I kind of feel it a little bit now still too, where like you're almost like removed a little bit from your consciousness, if that makes sense. Like you're almost kind of like on the outside looking
floating
in.
outside of yourself.
Yeah, kind of. Just like very spacey. I don't know. Anyway, I went to play, and I just like I couldn't be bothered. I barely said a word for the entire session. I was like, we got to cancel the pod. I quit the game at like 5, and I went home and I just slept. I just like passed right out, slept, woke up at like midnight, passed back out again, woke up this morning, went to the gym. I feel better, but I definitely still have a little haziness,
At least you broke your losing streak.
Yeah, I won 10K. I mean, to be fair, like, it's not all doom and gloom.
Of course.
I lost 250 live, but I won like 190 online.
You want to laugh?
Sure.
Dylan De Stefano just said, we're waiting.
I know they are. He's in the second game. They're waiting for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it today, Dylan. Okay.
Leave me alone,
Leave me
Dylan.
alone.
I don't want to talk to you.
Leave me alone. I'm going. You know what? I'm going home and napping again. I'll see you at 3. I'm in no fucking rush. We have more politics to talk. Let's get Oaken on here.
Yeah.
Oaken
loves the politics.
You know how
you did mention.
how there's like a rule in poker games that you don't talk religion or politics.
Right.
Yeah.
Somehow that doesn't apply to Bobby's room.
Right. That's what you said. You mentioned this where you said that they find reasons to bring it up.
It's insane to me. It's truly maddening because I'm the guy who's a little bit guilty every now and again of like talking shop at the table, especially when it's like mostly regs type of thing. I'll have a tendency of just being like, oh, what do you think about like, that 3-bet there? Just we're all playing poker. We have an interest in the game. I break the cardinal rule of sometimes talking shop at the table. I know I'm guilty of it. But when the politics come up, I turn into I try to vanish.
Yeah.
I just like shrink down in my chair. Like, are we really doing this?
I think the reason for this is because, you know, the makeup of the Bobby's Room game, I would assume, is made up of, you know, a lot of businessmen. You're a businessman yourself. So like politics and business are always intertwined.
That is such a flattering way of explaining the dynamics of Bobby's Room. It's a lot of old rich white guys.
Well, how'd they get rich?
Well, yes, through business.
Yeah.
Yes, through business.
Old
But
rich white guys and Dylan.
the reason why it's brought up is, for what it's worth, it's also just like a handful of guys that like particularly want to bicker about this issue.
Yeah.
But the reason it's brought up is because the vast majority of them have been lifelong Republicans,
Right.
and they feel that it's in the air. You know, they're ready to strike.
Mm-hmm.
They really want to claim their victory and do their dance already. And like personally, it's like I'm registered Dem, but I truly don't care.
Yeah.
And when I say don't care, I mean I don't care about party lines. Like, would be so happy to vote for whoever I thought was most reasonable.
Right.
Looking back, I feel like we got unlucky that guys like McCain ran against Obama, as opposed to like, you know, Biden,
Right.
or Clinton.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, how do we get Trump instead of just McCain again?
Right.
Or what was the governor
Mitt
of
Romney.
Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
Like these guys that these are guys that I think had very reasonable policies and were respectable humans
Right.
that I would have no problem considering to vote for. But like, you know, Trump is a cartoon, man. Like I'm just not into it.
Yeah.
But I'm not really into the other side either.
Right.
I just don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I just want to vanish.
Yeah.
But they know Oaken does want to talk about it. And they know that he's like on an island as the only guy who's like outwardly Dem.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's probably on the left there. Yeah.
Yeah, very much. And to his credit, he has like, well, I mean, it's adjacent, but
when you say Dem, does he lean like establishment Dem? Like, is he like a Biden? I don't know if anybody's a Biden guy, but like, is he a Biden like Harris guy, or is he more like progressive Bernie?
I think he's more
side?
center left.
Okay.
He's very much of the financially conservative,
Right.
socially liberal side, which
Right.
I think is a very reasonable place to stand.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, his background like in education is he's a history major, so he's a big history buff. So like it's adjacent.
Yeah.
He's up on some things.
Yeah.
He's way more qualified than me to have these conversations. But I get dragged fucking in because he's so desperate to find somebody
Someone on
else.
his side, yeah.
And it's like
He's looking around the room. He's like, "Well, Berkey. I mean, if any of these people are gonna take my side, it's gonna be."
And the
this
thing
guy.
is, like, I so know nothing. Like, I truly don't
Somehow
know
you guys are
anything.
the youngest guys in the.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, two of the
Right.
youngest. And the thing is, like, I truly don't know anything when it comes to policy or anything along those lines.
Right.
But I know arguments. I know debate.
Mm-hmm.
And I can just listen to both of them going back and forth in the most, like, in like the most bad faith way.
Yeah, I was gonna say bad faith. for
Where
sure.
it's just like the only interjection I can have is you're calling him names and you're moving the goalposts. So like, can we just stop?
right.
Maybe we could talk about I don't know, the betting market. I'm fine with that. That seems great.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're just gonna like talk past each other and move goalposts and not like then these kind of conversations are just absolutely worthless.
Aren't
You're
they
actually gonna-
always though? I
Well-
mean, I hate to be that guy.
No,
but
generally.
I always
Generally,
feel
they
like
are.
they're just
Generally,
pointless.
people are.
No
they're-
one is going to change their mind.
Generally, people's heels are dug in, and they're just going to defend their side to the death. But like, if you literally just like listen to somebody and try to figure out why they like the other side, or why, like, you Trump's insane. Why do you like Trump, right? And just like listen to them, and you can like actually learn a thing or two about like how people
I
think.
used to
and-
do this with
right.
the Mormon Missionaries in my neighborhood like 10, 15 years ago. I'd be like, yeah, come on in, let's talk. I'd be like, I'm going to convince them. And it's like, what
Oh,
are you
that's a
doing,
mistake.
man? Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's a mistake.
Wait, you do time. We're not gonna let this just fly by. You used to do what?
So Mormon
What with
missionaries
who?
are kids that like go to either different countries or go to different states.
Yes,
and
they go on a mission.
They talk about their religion.
Right.
You're talking about the people that knock on your door.
Yeah.
All right, go
You know,
on.
And I thought, invite them in and have a conversation about religion, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'll try to poke holes in where I think I can poke holes, and just kind of see what they come up with, and you know,
How'd that go?
not too good. I didn't change anyone's mind.
To be
if that's
fair-
what
They
you're
didn't
asking.
change yours either, huh?
To
Yeah.
be fair, I would state, and this isn't a slight against you, but I would probably say that neither you nor the missionaries are super qualified, right? Like, because they're descendants of the thing that they believe in, so they're heavily biased, and they're just trying to sway you into their bias.
I don't know if Guapo has a side though. That's
Right,
my thing.
And that's my well, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, and you're just trying to sway them away, right? So
I'm
it's
just
like,
trying to bring them over to the
I don't
dark
know, man.
side.
It sounds like good faith to me.
these are the discuss. Like, it's painful for me whenever this happens in game. With the person who like truly is trying to say they like the character of Trump, or they'll say like, "Well, he's a businessman at least." And it's like, okay, well, these are all non-starters because like these are also the arguments against him,
Right.
in most instances. The people that like start the conversation with like, look, I don't like him or what he necessarily represents, but there are policies that come attached to him that I can stand behind.
Now you can start
I'll
to have
listen.
a conversation.
I will absolutely
Right,
listen
for sure.
with open arms.
Yeah.
Because
like this, and this are problems in our country, and Trump wants to do this, and this, and that's why I want to vote.
yeah, and I think all of those are very reasonable conversations. The issue too is like when I try to sway it off of politics, what ends up happening is it then goes to nutrition, and I get dragged right back in.
Of course,
You know?
you can't sit idly by on that one.
Those are ones where I really try to listen and not speak very much because I've done. First of all, I've been on the other side of it. I've been on their side where like you're just hammering like, no, you got to eat fucking meat, you know, and like this is why, and it's like there's always some level of truth.
If you had a vegetable once in a while, maybe you wouldn't be so foggy headed.
I just, you know what? Maybe it was the lima beans that I ate earlier this week.
True.
They might have fucked me up.
You had bad lima beans.
Oh man, you got to be careful with the limas. No, but like I remember in our 20s, me just like undressing you and Brent whenever you guys were coming up with some new fucking wacky diet.
Don't throw me in that.
Oh, you were on the fucking cleanse.
No.
You did the master cleanse with him. Don't act like you didn't.
For a half a day.
Yeah, half a day.
Till I
Drinking
realized
fucking
it was
cayenne
crazy.
pepper.
Till I realized
He's sending me a video of like maple syrup sticking to your throat and pulling toxins out. It's like, this is what happens. I'm like, all right, enough, buddy. But
It doesn't happen.
no. But my refuting of like those bad techniques weren't correct either because I was just dug into some other dogma.
Right.
Right? Like I was just dug into some other like, well, it's just which may have been more correct, but I wasn't super knowledgeable either.
Yeah.
So like when those conversations come up, I really just try to listen because I feel like I've been through all of the
You
cycles.
used to house like whole wheat pasta.
It's not that bad.
I mean,
It's really not.
probably could find better stuff. It's still
Sure.
processed, you know.
Yeah, process how? I mean, it's pasta. Like, do you think homemade pasta versus pasta bought from the store
Is this
like,
your version of biting your tongue?
No.
Okay.
Brian and I have been through this enough. I'm not going to sit and listen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the wheat itself is processed. So if you
Right,
make
but
it
that's
at
what
home,
I'm
it's
saying.
still
Like,
processed.
if you have pasta,
Right. I think if you make pasta at home with processed wheat, it's processed.
What are we
Yeah.
doing here?
all flour is processed.
help himself.
We agree on that.
Right, but you're changing the definition of like what makes the qualifying term process bad. Like Oreos and
Processed.
pasta
Yeah.
are not the same.
I would.
What
agree
is
with that.
different?
What is different is
Your attitude.
no. Processing is not what makes food bad. It's
It's what
the
they
end
put
result.
In, what they put in to process it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get whole wheat pasta that has 2 ingredients,
Right.
right?
That's
It's
true.
going to be whole
No,
wheat
that's-
flour
yeah.
and eggs.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
You can get an Oreo that's
Right.
going to have 27.
A lot of
glad you agree, Brian.
hydrogenated oils
Right.
and
The-
that kind of stuff.
The correlation of what's
high fructose corn syrup.
exactly the correlation to processed foods being
As opposed
bad.
to low fructose corn syrup.
Jesus Christ.
The correlation to what makes processing food bad is that it's high in trans fat.
Yeah.
Right, which is a byproduct of chemicals and the oils and the vegetables or vegetables, the vegetable oil.
The
and
lima
all
beans
that.
are back.
The lima beans are. Don't sleep on lima beans. Okay, you don't know.
I've been going crazy on edamame lately.
Kind of same. I mean, they're soy.
I like
That's the big
edamame.
difference.
Edamame is good.
Do you not like lima beans?
What's that? Yeah, I do like lima beans.
They're the same. They taste the same, right?
What
Same
does this
flavor
podcast
profile.
come to? What do we do?
Yeah.
Butter and salt, they're going to have the exact same flavor profile, I think.
I would say yeah.
Yeah.
Very close.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a fan.
Beans. I mean, they're beans.
I'm not a fan
right?
of
They're both
edamame.
beans.
They're just soybeans, right?
Edamame is soybeans, yeah. Usually it's just steamed with like sea salt on it.
Wait, how do you
Yeah.
say that and then say I'm not a fan of edamame?
I
It's salt and the same thing.
yeah, but
What is different?
Nothing.
Your
That's the
attitude.
thing.
well, generally they're not like served the way that I would eat lima beans.
Right. Berkey, like
Steamed with salt?
I steam my lima
Put
beans
butter on
and I put
them.
salt, but I put
Yeah.
butter on them.
the butter.
The butter is very
Right.
important to this.
Right.
Get out of here, man.
It's a 3-part.
I'll tell you what, I'll make you some lima beans.
A salt.
You mean butter beans?
Edamame with salt
I do
is
like
like
butter beans
everything you love. If you like lima beans,
They're okay. They're okay. I would eat them. They're
but if
they're
you
akin.
there's salt on them, you'd love them.
Edamame.
Edamame is also a complete protein.
Yes, that's true. It's like one of the few where you can get the full amino acid profile. That's why soy is used in pretty much everything for vegetarians. Anyway, I would say edamame is like equivalent to like baby lima beans with no butter. They're like okay.
They're a little smaller. They got no butter.
They're okay. They're okay. Baby lima beans not that great. 4 cold lima beans is where it's at.
4 cold?
That's the name of them. They're the big ones. You know, they're much closer to a butter bean.
Okay.
And butter beans.
Oh, don't get me started.
Don't get
butter
me started on butter beans. Succotash. I do love suffer and succotash.
Mm-hmm. That's
Imagine.
basically just lima beans and
Corn.
Corn.
That's
I'm
it.
sure there's a bunch of different ways to do it.
Can
Lima
we
beans and
please
corn.
talk about something else?
No, this is amazing.
We're all ears, Landon. Go ahead.
I got
Yeah.
nothing, but this is insane.
Okay, well,
Okay, well then shut the fuck up.
anytime you want to contribute, buddy, we're all fucking ears.
You're talking about corn. You're
How
talking.
was, how was your meeting with Uncle Phil on Thursday?
It was good.
You want to talk a little bit about it?
No, it's just hot seat stuff.
Who's
Okay.
Uncle Phil?
Galfond.
Well,
Wow.
why don't you fill the audience in?
Oh yeah, Phil Galfond has Beyond the Game. I am a part of that for the year. So every week there's just calls on different things that are important to not just poker but life as a whole, and then you have little breakout groups, and the breakout groups are fun. I feel like to a degree there's a lot more like trial and tribulations like poker related there that I think I've gone through mostly through yelling with you
Sure.
the past
Sure.
how many years it's been at this point.
Too many. Too many to count.
So it's nice to impart some wisdom that's been yelled at me to
Instilled,
others.
I think is the word you're looking for.
Not yelled at. There's
right.
no installation going on
So
here.
if yours isn't a part of the poker journey, what is your?
I don't know. I was thinking about this actually because I have to hot seat next week.
This is very similar to what I did with Elliot in Utah.
Yeah.
We did the same thing.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure where my problems lie. Like when it comes to poker, I think I'm kind of over the like how to be successful, but also like I'm not too concerned about how I'm winning in poker anymore.
Right.
Like call it like negative variance isn't really something that messes with my head too much. You know, you just play too many hands, but I really don't know. Like I don't know like where I guess my big problems are like outside of poker as a whole.
I could tell you.
Please.
It's a red Tesla in the driveway for the last 2.5
Yeah,
years.
but like that's more of like I know what the solution is, right? The solution is like fix the car, drive the car. Like that's a very easy thing to fix.
How easy?
What do you mean?
Huh? You say fix, but before
Yeah, but, like, I don't
fix,
really
it was,
care about
there was a
fixing
car
it.
there.
Yeah, I don't care about
Yeah, it
fixing
doesn't
it.
have the motivation to fix
If
it.
I cared about fixing it, I would just do
No,
it.
but Conrad's right.
But if you're trying to figure out where the problems
underlying
lie,
problem here.
if you're trying to figure out where the problems lie, this is where you'd probably
I
start.
agree. I agree with Conrad.
But, like, what's the
this
problem?
This I don't know, but it's a symptom of a deeper issue for sure. To have a $30,000 car that you purchased 2 years ago.
You want to go back to lima beans yet? Or?
Some motivation came behind the desire to waste $30,000 on an immobile car for 2 years.
It's an NFT, it's a fungible token.
And your lack of desire to get it running and or to get your like whatever barrier there is with you getting a license and getting this car on the road, definitely a symptom of an underlying problem.
Honestly, I think we should just kick it off and, give him like a 3 months before Mama Joe just gets his car. We just make him
I
give
don't
his
think
car to
this is our
Mama Joe.
responsibility to do anything. I don't give a fuck
I
what he
agree
does
with you.
the
I don't
car.
think it's anybody's responsibility.
It's
to do
not,
anything.
but we gotta give him some feet to the fire.
I mean,
Why?
Yeah, let Phil help him. That's
but
Phil's
like,
job.
I don't know. It's like when it comes to problems and stuff that like need to be solved versus like additional like things that could improve my life, but like I don't think it improves my life enough to worry about it.
Having a car not improve your life?
Because like I don't go anywhere or do anything that doesn't.
Maybe those are also
Yeah, right. Maybe
With
you had a car,
license
you'd
and you
go
have
places
the
and do
ability
things.
to do these things.
Yeah,
not
but like
do
if I really cared, I would go get that stuff done.
Caring isn't the issue. See, this is why the hot seat will be very beneficial to you. Like you very well should use this as your hot seat topic because
The car?
because what ends up happening when you give your hot seat, if it's well done and you have an attentive audience that's qualified, what will end up happening is they'll hear you talk about the car, but they'll recognize that there's a much deeper issue.
It's not
here.
about the car.
Right? It's not about the rice. It's not about the car. They'll recognize there's a deeper issue underlying here that you're not addressing, and you'll spend the 45 minutes that you're in the hot seat or whatever pulling at that thread until there's some level of self-discovery of like, okay, well, clearly there's a hurdle here that I'm incapable of getting over, and that is spilling over into a lot of other aspects of life.
Well, it's not about incapable. It's I don't choose to, because I think it just stems from like a lack of like independence. You know, like there's a lot that has to go into the car, or, like getting it fixed, or like doing my own things if I want to. But if I really wanted to be like more independent and like have that freedom,
then you would do that.
yeah, but it's not that necessary to like my quality of life.
But you have
I'm here to
mentioned
help you.
the reason why I even brought it up is
I
because
don't-
you've mentioned multiple times that you want to get your license, you want to get your car. Like this is like one of your goals. Like
I think it would be nice, but I clearly don't think it's that important.
and you have to think it's somewhat important if you keep bringing it up.
It's
Well,
like,
And you keep bringing it
Well,
up
it is important.
because it's
not
a looming.
It's not even you keep bringing it up. You keep bringing it up to everybody around us. Every time you see Jen or every time you see Tammy,
He
it's always
memes
a
on
point
himself.
yeah, it's always a point of
Yeah.
topic. So it's like you're.
well, they ask me about it. They're like, "What are you doing with the car?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, you know, at some point I'll do something with the car."
Yeah, I mean that's all because you've brought it up so much.
Why don't you get
I
rid of
think.
it?
Because I want the opportunity at some point to do something with the
You
car.
can get another
You can get
car.
another car.
Nah,
Why not?
because it's a hassle.
Well, it's clearly not important to you now.
Yeah, but it's a hassle to get rid of the car too.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. You
Guapo
sell
will take it
I'll
off your
buy
hand
that
in a
shit
heartbeat.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Mama Joe will take it.
Mm-hmm.
We could get rid of the car. That's not a problem.
That's
Yeah.
not the problem.
Yeah, but
So
then I'll
what-
have to get a new car.
So why is there an attachment to a car that you don't feel is important to drive?
Because I bought it. My car.
So
It's my
you bought those pants too, and I don't feel they're very important to wear.
No, they are. That's on you. I like these pants.
Maybe make the hot seat about your pants.
No.
That might be that
Hot
might be good-
pants.
yeah. Let's get the opinion of the crowd on the pants.
I don't give a fuck about their
Is
opinion.
it time to maybe bolster the rotation? You know, get
No,
a
these
few
are good
more.
pants. These are good fucking pants.
I'm sure they're great.
You told me no. You know what? I won't take. I won't stand for this. You told me I'm not allowed to wear shorts, so I get pants. Now you're saying you can't wear the pants, so fuck you.
No. You can
No.
wear them.
No.
Preferably
They have to
not
be-
every
they
day.
have
I
to
didn't
be
wear them
this
every day.
long.
I didn't wear them yesterday.
We didn't have a
there's no
show
podcast.
yesterday.
Listen, look. This
Matt,
is
do you
as
think-
much thigh as you're allowed
Do
to
you
show.
think it
That's
could
right,
be
Brian.
a generational thing? And I'm not trying to like sound like the old guy here, but I couldn't wait. to
No,
get my
I agree
driver's
with you.
license.
Well, that's
I
'cause
agree
you
with
didn't
The day
have-
I turned 16, I was like, I
Same.
can't wait.
You
to
didn't
get my
have
license.
Uber. You didn't have the freedom anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
What
part
am
of
I
it.
gonna do with Uber at 16? I got no money to pay.
We
for
still
it.
had
also
tax.
But now
true.
I'm
Also
rich, so like I can do whatever I want. I don't need to do like the service of independence.
I mean, and that's
Like-
in that from that vein. Like we had taxis. We had plenty of money to call taxis to go.
you
wherever.
did. Guapo was poor.
I'm just saying, wherever we
We
wanted
also
to,
didn't have taxis where I grew up.
wherever we wanted to go, we could have
He
went.
just keeps
Like,
going with this.
wait, yeah, no, I'm just thinking.
Matt said
about
he
it.
couldn't
Like,
do it.
I was,
Guapo
also,
couldn't
I was
do it.
also with Guapo when I was 16 or 15. I went to go take my road test. I came home. I wasn't allowed to take the road test because I went with my grandmother and the car wasn't in her name. It was under my grandfather's name. So I went home and I was like, yeah, I passed my road test. They're like, oh, great. Let's go get your car insured. Got my car insured and drove around with the permit for the next God knows how long.
Yeah, but you're just a delinquent. That doesn't prove anything.
Well, it was the fire to drive, I'm saying.
We all wanted to drive. We
It
all
was
wanted to
the
be independent.
delinquency.
He just like didn't because of one reason or another.
Well, yeah. Now it's just so easy. Like I
No,
don't
but
have
what
any
about,
hindrance.
what about when you were 16?
I didn't go anywhere. I played video games in my room.
But like, I mean, yeah, but like,
I was able to like entertain myself. like do electronics and shit. Where like
I think that's probably more common of his generation.
Maybe, yeah.
well, yeah, like I just didn't like go to people's houses on weekends like cool kids did. I just played video games like and stayed inside. It was fine.
Okay.
Never went to the movies,
No,
mall.
the mall very infrequently. If I would have gone to the mall, I would have got these pants.
Right.
Fucking sick.
Maybe it's a good thing you couldn't get to the mall.
The mall's missing out on me. The mall's.
I just feel like those pants like belong in a video where a cat just appears out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like with those in the
The
background.
Nyan cat.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
They're good pants.
All right, let's clean up a little bit of housekeeping here to get out of here for the final part of this show. May be heading halfway across the world to play in a game next month. Not sure. We'll see. But a little preview of what's to come if I do. I think we got a little bit of a JRB victory dance. As somebody who's been on the other side of this, I can tell you that Keith Leary handles it about as well as any human can.
It's so good.
81 teen ass down with some silver bullets.
Keith, you like this?
Yeah,
Keith.
I know what they say, money can't buy everything. Well, maybe so, but it can buy me a boat. Come on, Keith, this is your line. They call me redneck, white trash, and blue collar. I could change all that if I had a couple $1 million. Cause I keep hearing that money is the root of all evil, and you can't thread a camel through the eye of a needle. I'm sure that's probably true, but it still sounds pretty cool. It can buy me a boat. Yeah, it can buy me a truck. Fuck yourself. It can buy me anyone.
He's not that bad of a singer. He's not that great, but
I'm gonna send you another link here.
How wild
Guapo.
is it that the difference is like in low stakes, that type of stuff happens. There might be a fight that breaks out. High stakes, that shit happens every day. And if you can't laugh at it, you can't play.
Yeah. So
it looked like he took every chip on the table.
it looked like it was a pretty big pot. Jeremy winning is one of the best and worst experiences if you can.
Depends on if you're involved in the pot or not.
Yeah, well, it's hard not to be.
Or if you're stuck in the game.
And yeah, again, if he's winning, you're probably stuck. It's a wild roller coaster ride with him because 1 minute he'll be singing "Buy You a Boat" and then the next he'll have 13 big blinds and an empty bottle of wine next to him. And you just you're there for the ride. We have the original version of this, which was actually sung to me as I went on a 300K downer on the boat at JRB's expense. Maybe. Possibly. Yep.
Driving my truck. Before I walked into the door, I was scared like a fool. AM, FM, XM too. But I stopped real quick when I heard that groove. Man, you should have seen her light up. And she was like, oh my God, this is my song. I've been listening to the radio all night long. I can't believe that.
Now that's the full victory lap. He has his entire catalog.
Yeah.
If you're ever there for a JRB concert.
Okay.
That was post Buy Me a Boat.
Who sings that? Do you know?
Which one?
So Buy Me a Boat.
No, JRB as far as I'm concerned. I think it's an original at this point. So this was, the game was over. He had actually locked the win. So he had broken into the full fanfare, the encore presentation, if you will.
Gotcha.
Looks like he was into a little scotch.
Yeah, I don't remember him being a big country fan, but it seems as though in his older dad age, he's gotten into the country pop.
Might be his good luck song.
Great, fantastic performer. One of the best in the game. Happy to see him with a smile on his face and a tune in his heart.
This is why he runs the big games.
This is nobody can replace JRB.
This is why he runs the big games.
Nobody
This is the
can
exact
replace
reason.
him. I can assure you that this man is a one of one. I don't know what about him has created this cartoon character that is before us. But there's just nobody on earth that could do what he does, that can live the life that he lives, and can navigate the gambling scene the way he does any better. I mean, it's just like, it's a level of efficiency that it's a one of one. I'm telling you, like, he outkicked his coverage with his wife. He has a beautiful family. I mean, like, this guy is just living a fucking 10 of 10. And most days he doesn't have a goddamn chip in front of him. Yep. It just doesn't matter. He's out there celebrating. JRB. So yeah, big shout out to JRB. Hopefully I get a chance to play with them. There's a bigger game going to be running that I may travel for. Not sure. Games are pretty good here. It's kind of nice not having to leave. We'll see. We got the podcast to do.
Yeah.
And after today's show,
I mean,
this is peak.
What a banger.
This is for sure peak podcast right here. I mean, I don't know if we've had a better Friday episode. Maybe when Jenna was in town.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been it.
When is NFL back?
It's back.
Baby,
September 7th.
A week from...
Or Thursday.
A week from yesterday.
Thursday night.
Does that mean the Weekend Warrior bid is back?
Oh, shit. We're back.
We
are back.
Put a little money on this, too.
Yeah.
We are back with the Weekend Warrior.
That's a good
kids.
observation, Landon. I think it's time for us to start prepping for the Weekend Warrior.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get
Underdog back.
Yep. Well, I don't know if that's happening, but we're going to have to get those graphics. We're going to have to get those season-long bets going.
We're going to
I already got my bet down with Jeff Platt. He's giving me 1
I'm surprised we don't have a fantasy football team, like league, for us.
I mean, who's going to run it?
I
mean, it's not hard to run.
Lamanna?
Season-long fantasy is so dumb.
It really is.
It's just dumb.
I actually don't even play fantasy at all, and I love sports. I love looking at stats. I think it takes up life after a while. You start getting like really into it, and just like you start getting more teams, and like fuck that.
Got that Leechburg draft on Saturday, Burke.
Is it Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
All right, I might auto draft.
It really does feel like fantasy football is one of those games. Like if you care the most, you're probably gonna win.
I have a very unique strategy.
When's the last time
this
you
year.
cared about fantasy football with like the Leechburg group?
Probably the last time I won. Probably the last time I won.
Have you ever won?
Yeah, I have. It was a long time ago.
Have you ever won?
But it's a $60 league. Did you?
Not
Brian
this,
won
not,
last year.
not
Look who
this
cared the
league.
most.
The other Leechburg league.
Yeah.
He's in like fucking a dozen leagues. He's I won last year.
He's got to win
Four
one
last year.
He's got
four leagues.
It's a numbers game, man.
Yeah, it's a $60 league where everybody drafts the Steeler players way too high. I mean, I don't care. But I do have a unique strategy this year that I pulled right off of Twitter.
Looking at how hot they are?
Nope.
You got to get a guide for that.
Would maybe consider that one, but no, it's
0 RB.
It's yeah, exactly.
That's old.
I don't care. I'm doing it.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It's the zero running back strategy. I don't know shit about it, but I do know that I have the next to last pick, and it seems like if ever I'm going to run a 0 RB draft, this year's it.
Good luck.
I'm a waiver wire king, Lamanna. You fucking know it.
No, that implies trying.
It's true.
No, I'm following. Literally, it's tweeted here, man. These are the people
just
that I
came up
target.
on his feed. He wasn't actually like researching it.
No, yeah, it came up on my feed. I bookmarked it. I'm looking at it right now.
Going to the waivers is trying.
I looked at it now. They spend like 3 tweets talking about Nassim Talib, which I don't know how that applies to fantasy football, but I'm in.
Don't worry about it.
You know, I'm fucking in.
So you're all in on Ayuk.
I'll tell you in a moment.
The Steelers are not all in on Ayuk.
Well, I mean, if you're going 0 RB, you have to, hard
look,
on
the thread is about anti-fragility, okay, and that's why we're going 0 RB, because these wideouts, man, they're anti-fragile. No, there's he gave me a list of running backs, so I'm targeting. I don't think they're gonna fall, but maybe Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson.
You will not get Tyreek Hill.
You'll get Wilson.
Pick.
Okay, next to last pick, buddy.
Still won't get him.
CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, St. Brown.
You might get him.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be getting one of them. Drake London, Marvin Harrison Jr., Chris Olave, Olave, whatever. Devontae Adams, Michael Pittman, Mike Evans, DK Metcalf.
I love
Mike Evans again. He listed him twice.
That's
how fucking important he is.
Mike Evans.
Debo, DJ Moore, Chris Goodwin, Amari Cooper, Nico Collins, Stephon. Where the fuck is Pickens, man? I won't.
Wait,
Pickens will go first overall.
Who's throwing the ball to him?
Oh, here he is. He's in
Russell
the fourth
Wilson.
suite. In 3 we trust.
Good luck, buddy.
That's right.
Don't take DK Metcalf.
Why not?
I don't know anything about football, but he's too arrogant.
He's a fucking monster.
He's
I
a
want to see him and
monster.
Debo just wrestle.
He's calling out the gold medalist and saying that he'll smoke him in a 60-yard.
No, that was Tariq Hill.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Then
And
don't take that.
and he
Trey Kill
probably would.
Yeah.
He probably would.
Yeah, he's fast.
He's really fast.
Actually, I don't know if he would, but they did like you know how they
Side-by-side comparison.
kind of, but he's like with a line of Tyreek Hill of how fast he runs his whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and the other guy beat him apparently.
Well,
Yeah.
he is an Olympian.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know if he'd beat him.
He was talking about running the 40, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Not
Just
the
it was a
actual-
hybrid.
yeah.
It wasn't the 100 meters. but
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
he wasn't.
okay.
He
It's a
wasn't going to
shorter
run
race.
his event.
Yeah.
Okay,
Of
well,
course.
Yeah, then Tyreek Hill might.
Yeah, he's
be a
not going to
favorite.
beat the Olympic gold medalist in the 100.
Oh.
If he would be the Olympic gold medalist.
Why
I
would
mean,
he-
100
why would he
meters-
ever
not
be
beating
the
him at
Olympic
100
gold
meters
medalist?
is
He's
not-
60. He's
not
not beating him
that-
at any
that much.
any stretch.
It's not like a
I'll
500
take
or
the gold
something.
medalist.
I wonder what the line. would
I
say.
agree with Guapo. If we're talking about Tyreek Hill running the event that the gold medalist won, Tyreek Hill will not win.
Guapo's
Right.
not
I agree.
agreeing with
I
you
agree
because
that.
he's saying if he runs the 40, the gold medalist still wins every time.
Absolutely.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
I'll take that.
It's a very different event. If you know, it'd be like saying that he would also win the 200, which he won't, and he didn't. You know,
Lyles?
he got third. Big difference.
There is a difference.
What is different?
It's 40% of the
Right.
right.
It's his attitude. is
There's a
different.
lot of there's a lot that goes into this. So looking to target running backs in round 6 through 9.
Okay.
We're looking at DeAndre Swift, Najee. Oh my God, I'm
Najee.
fucked.
Why, Najee?
Najee's not going to fall the 6th round in a goddamn Yinzer draft.
Yeah, he might.
I think I took him in the 2nd round last year.
Yeah,
That
how'd
was a
you do?
mistake.
That was a
How
mistake.
did you do?
That
That
was
was
a huge mistake.
Big mistake. Jalen Warren in the 6th round. No
There you go.
fucking chance.
Just one of them will be there.
You want to bet on it?
He just grabs
Yes.
Zamir.
All right, let's bet the cost of the league.
The cost of the league.
$60 or
50
whatever.
bucks or whatever.
50 bucks, whatever.
50
it is.
bucks.
Whatever, yeah.
That at least one of them will be there
In the
round
6th
6.
in the 6th round.
in the 6th round. Let me think about this.
Look how much different his tone
Yeah.
changes when you want to bet on it.
I know.
Yeah, well,
No, of
because
course.
well, obviously when there's money on it, I'm going to think about it a little bit deeper.
But why don't you think about it
then-
before
yeah.
the money part?
Because I'm just
For what it's worth.
Because this is a podcast. I just spot out random shit. Obviously, is that not clear to you by now? I just
Oh,
spit
it's
out
been
random
clear.
shit till there's money on the line. Then I have to think about it.
I love how it's okay for everybody else, but if I do that, the fucking comments are just
Listen,
like,
if I didn't spell out
destroy me.
random shit, then I would have nothing to talk about.
I agree with you, and also
It's a double standard, man. You got to live with it.
also
You're the host. You have to be like, in line.
I don't. On top of that,
be
I was
in line.
talking to Barbara about this when I was in Pittsburgh. I go, I realize this now that I'm home. I had been home for like a week. I was like, I realize this now that I'm home, that this is very much a regional thing. Like, it's very much in a Yinzer's nature to speak with hyperbole.
Yeah.
Or speak hyperbolically. And just kind of like spout an idea and like stress test it among, like, we live for water cooler fights.
Oh yeah.
That's all we do.
Yeah.
We literally just say things,
Right.
not even necessarily believing them, much like you right
Yeah.
now with the one of them will be there in the 6th.
Right. And
You
then-
partially believe it, but your confidence is low.
Well, the thing is, like, that's probably right in a normal league, yeah. And then if you really take into account that
I
we're
said
all
it's a
Yinzers-
Yinzer
I
league,
know,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah. All right. So we got a bet or not?
I don't think so. I don't trust these Yinzers. These are going to go in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Goddamn right.
That's the thing. I just don't trust the
Why
rest
would
of the people in the league.
why would
Chase is
you
going to have
ever
them
have
both
a-
on his team before the 6th round.
Why would you ever put
I
that
had
bet
both
in?
of them last year too.
Time out. Why would you ever put that bet in when he can just easily go against his fucking strategy and just take one of them in this fucking first round and then the second?
That's true, too.
He
Yeah.
just to get a free
Yeah.
roll on the league.
Right. He could just take them.
I want $60 that fucking bad that I'm going to put my pride before my money.
No,
or my
you're
money
not-
before my
you
pride.
don't even play
No,
in the league.
you get both. You
It
get
doesn't
your
matter.
pride, which is the Steelers,
Yeah.
with both these guys, and you get the money.
No, I want to win the league.
You don't even
I just don't want to
try
try to do it.
Yeah,
So I'm
my
following.
point.
So I'm
You want to
following-
win the league with a bunch of Steelers on your team.
Well, I'm following Eric Moody's.
When are you going to pick Pat Fryermuth?
I don't know, but I would probably
He'll be on your team.
There's a better chance that I get the Steelers defense in the 6th round than Jalen Warren.
I'm actually kind of annoyed about what you just said, considering that you fucking drafted Najee Harris in the 2nd round last year.
was
So I don't want to
different,
hear
bro.
your dog shit from
I
this.
had the first overall
not
pick.
different.
I had the
Ask
first
Andy.
overall pick. There weren't a lot of running backs left.
Ask
I
Andy.
took Warren later as a bad handcuff. I ended up playing them both all season long.
Yeah.
Running back was not my problem last year. Actually, maybe wide
Your
receiver
attitude
was. I think
Your
quarterback was a big
attitude
issue.
was your problem.
Quarterback was a big issue for me last year. I was holstering Kirk Cousins for some of the season. He did okay, then he got hurt.
You really, to win these leagues, you really have to you have to hit on the mid rounds, like the 6, 7, 8 rounds.
Wow.
If you get Mostert last year was going in in those rounds. Like if you picked him up, right? If you picked him up, you picked up
fucking steal.
a couple other guys. Yeah, you just crushed it.
Well, unlucky for you, I have a whole fucking plan laid out before me. I know exactly who I'm drafting or who I'm targeting at least in the 6th through 9th round. Those will be my running back rounds.
Yeah, well, so you just told them to me, so now my targets.
Go
Probably
ahead.
pick up Zamir White.
They're my
Good luck.
targets now.
What did I get? 2nd pick, I think.
I think so.
He's just gonna pick them. He's gonna pick your.
By the
picks.
way, the way we chose the draft order was so stupid.
I loved it. I loved it because you hate it.
It's just so dumb.
Tell us more.
But it's just so dumb.
Also because you got 2nd to last and I got 2nd.
Well, I think he did me a favor. I think the choice. I think my choices were. I think he could have given me 5th or 9th.
Yeah. I don't know. I understand 9th might be better because then you get the
wraparound.
second you wrap around.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what is better.
I mean, I gave him the 1st pick overall. So if he in return fucked me, that's even worse. I think.
Can you explain how you guys did it?
It's so dumb. So I don't remember. I think they went by record, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, they went by reverse record. I finished next to last, so I was 2nd overall. And you choose the person who mirrored you. So I picked the draft order for the person who finished 2nd last season, 2nd overall.
So you picked what place he went?
Yeah, where he goes. Yeah. So it started with so whoever finished last in the league got to pick where whoever finished first goes first, right?
Gotcha.
And then the other person who finished first got to pick where they go.
Right.
And so on and so forth.
And to be fair, I should have just fucked my guy over because he has the next to last.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to have choices when it comes time. But I was so mad that we were doing it this way. I was just like, fuck it. I'll give this guy the 1st overall pick because this is a stupid way of choosing draft order.
He called you about it.
Yeah, Jay's call. I was like, this is so dumb.
So instead of guaranteeing yourself a top 3,
I can't
4
guarantee
pick,
myself anything.
you're helping yourself guarantee that you're going to get a top 4 pick.
No, because once what ends up happening is the people who finished in the middle will always get the top picks because the last 3 people, the people who finished last, next to last, and 3rd to last, should always pick the middle draft picks for the guys who finished in the top 3 because those are the worst drafting positions.
John gave me 2nd, and then I was like, well, what's the next best one available? 3rd. Okay, you got it.
Right. So that's what should have.
I returned the favor.
What should have happened is John was dead smack in the middle. I think he was 4th or 5th. So he now chooses for Brian, who's very finished one above him. And he should just give him the best draft position because Brian will complement it.
And that's exactly
or
what
should
happened.
complement it.
Yeah.
I didn't have to. Yeah, you could have.
I could have fucked him.
But it's kind of hard at that point because the worst draft picks should be gone.
Right.
It's really dumb because the simulation for this should almost always play out the same. The guys who finished in the best positions should all have the middle draft picks. The guys who finished in the worst position should always have the last draft picks. Mm-hmm. And the guys who finished in the middle should always have the top draft picks.
I thought it was fun just because you could be the nice guy and give the guy the nice pick and then they fuck you over. And that's exactly what happened to you. And I'm here for it.
Well, but I didn't get fucked over. That's my point. Is he only had 2 draft positions to pick from and they're both going to be bad.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Right? Because he chooses next to last.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not like I go and then he goes. Then that would be different.
That's right. Yeah,
right?
he didn't. Yeah, he went.
Then you would always want to play tit for tat.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Only you and John got that.
Got that because we were right in the middle. Yeah,
right.
yeah, that's right. I forgot about that aspect of it. But that It wasn't always going to be like that. If people in the middle started fucking each other over, then there might have been a couple top spots left.
Yeah, I could get very lucky where he doesn't have a choice but to give me a good position.
Maybe you shouldn't have given him the top spot.
I shouldn't have. I know I shouldn't have. I should have given him a middle spot for sure, 100%. It guarantees me a better draft position almost certainly.
Yeah.
And it's just like optimal, but I was mad that we were doing something so dumb.
Yeah, or you could give him the last spot and guarantee you're not getting the last spot.
Well, you want
the last spot. The last spot's
fifth.
better than a lot of other spots.
Yeah, it's
better than fifth.
4th, 5th, 6th.
Right.
5, 6.
Truly, the way that we did it is like playing tic-tac-toe. And I just like actually chose to go middle first because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
But whatever. I'm going to win the league anyway. All right, let's get out of here. This has gone on far too long. Luckily for you guys, we saved a bunch of assets for Monday, and we have the whole weekend to prepare. So I promise you this will only be a Friday type of thing where we just hodgepodge it.
He's lying.
We should have a full week for you guys. We're going to be joined by Brent Hanks and Jeff Platt on Wednesday. I believe Matt Hunt is back in town, so we're going to have Strat Chat with Matt again next week. And we're going to work on a few other guests throughout the course of the week. So thank you guys as always for tuning in. The NFL will be back next week. We will have Weekend Warriors coming in next Friday. Woo!
It's time. It's
It's almost time.
We'll see you guys all then.
Later, squad.